Okay. So, for those of you who hadn't seen the intro of this series, Uncommon, whatever I decide to call it, this is pretty much going to be a series where pretty much everyone's going to disagree with me. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate in the comments. Not saying that I will get comments, but, probably will, and these videos will be very disliked. These videos are going to be, my opinion on things that I seem to disagree with pretty much everyone on. So, movies that people hate but I love, and vice versa. Same with probably games, TV shows, and other stuff. And I'm probably only going to record about 5 episodes today, along with the new intro. So yeah, this is episode 1 on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, which just came out the year I'm recording this. So anyways, just to get started, I'll just give you a bit of background. So I saw this movie a couple months ago, back when it first came out in May, and I actually thought it was really good. I know a lot of people seem to hate this movie, for example, on Rotten Tomatoes it only had a 35%, which I found a bit harsh for the movie, because I honestly found the tone to be fun, the characters to be pretty interesting, and for everything to overall just seem like a pretty good fan service. So I guess I'll start at the beginning now. The story. Now, when I was younger, I was really into the 2003 cartoon series of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that I found a lot of fun. And I noticed a lot of similarities between that and the movie, as well as kind of the tone. It seems like the tones of the movies are kind of going in the style of one series from previously of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The original kind of had more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of a darker tone, I guess? Well, not darker tone, but dang it, I'll come back to this. Probably. Anyways, so what I was trying to say was that the original kind of felt a bit more like the comics, and then this one kind of felt a bit more lighthearted and funny, kind of like the cartoon, and kind of a mixture of that in the 2003 series. And yeah, I found the story to be kind of interesting. I recognized some of the villains from, some of the other media platforms I've seen the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from. Sorry if I'm sorry that I'm stuttering a lot and just forgetting my words a lot of the time. I guess I'm just a bit nervous. I will forget, and I do. But anyway, so yeah, and then they had a lot of fan service in the movie, which I liked. A bunch of characters that we really wanted to see in these movies came back. Bebop and Rocksteady were probably my favorite part of the movie, because they had really interesting characters. And as opposed to other people, I'm actually not against CGI. A lot of the time, I actually like it, and I know that's really unpopular as well, of an opinion, because, practical effects are definitely really good too. But I just feel a bit more open-minded to CGI on that front. But yeah, the characters seem to be developed pretty well. I was kind of glad about how, I'm gonna try and keep this spoiler-free, but I really liked how they handled the characters, which include new characters from the previous movie, so where they are now and stuff like that. And the next part I guess I'll talk about is the humor, which, opposed to a lot of people, I actually found pretty funny. The first joke kind of landed flat on its face, no pun intended, but yeah, I found the rest of the jokes really good, actually. I actually laughed a couple times during the movie, and I found it kind of interesting how they handled humor and made it more funny and lighthearted than the first one, which was probably a good move, because I think everyone can agree that this was better than the first one, but the part where I disagree with people is by how much. The first one, I found was good, but this one, I found it was just, amazing. I just loved it. Now, maybe it was because, for once, I wasn't sick in the theater, because I had seen a lot of these movies when I had like a cold or a headache or something like that. So it probably made me feel like I want to give more criticisms, but I don't know. This one just felt really fun. Like it had a really fun tone, and I felt like it was just like a blast, and that the characters were still handled pretty well as well. But yeah, so the new additions were great. The story was interesting. The new characters, I already said new characters. The new villains were definitely interesting on how they decided to implement them into the movie. And everything just felt pretty good. Yeah, sorry if this one I kind of forgot pretty much where I was going with every single plot point. I guess I'm just a bit nervous because I know the series isn't gonna do too well. But yeah, I guess if I had to give this one a rating, so I'll give it like, I guess I'll give this like an out of 10 rating. And for this movie, I think I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Because while I don't have very many problems, and I can't really think of any right now, I know that it's not like my favorite movie ever, but it was definitely a good movie. It was probably in my top 3 movies I've seen this year, probably coming out at number 3. And I'll talk about number 1 later, I think, which is 10 Cloverfield Lane, but I don't know if anyone necessarily had a negative review for that. It seems like most people actually really liked that movie, like myself. But anyways, sorry for all the rambling and forgetfulness in this one. Oh, gritty! That was the word I was thinking of. Where the first one felt a bit more gritty, not dark, but gritty. Yeah, sorry that took me way longer than it should have. Anyways, so thank you guys for watching this first episode of me just rambling and forgetting stuff. But anyways, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.